What's going on, everybody? I'm John,
I'm Dennison.
and this is The Catch Up.
So, man, I just got back from Denver, which is, I gotta say, a really cool trip. But next time, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not working.
Yeah.
That was not a fun experience. I mean, I pretty much got to see the boring part of Denver, which is where I was working and then my hotel room. But I will say, I will say that it was a beautiful drive from the airport. And I didn't know. Maybe, I probably should do a little bit better of researching this, but I didn't know that Denver had an international airport.
Oh my God. No.
I know. I, it makes me feel kind of bad, but hey, it was cool. It was nice.
You didn't know. Okay, so you were flying into Denver International Airport, and you didn't
Mm.
know it was an international airport, bro?
Nah, I didn't know that.
Oh man. Well, that's probably a pleasant surprise.
It was. It was. It was a really pretty place. I'm not gonna lie though, that airport is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Like I felt like they just found a field, like just away from civilization as far as way you can be, and then like, this is a good spot for an airport.
Oh
Let's put
yeah,
one here.
for sure. Yeah, no, they had like basically just found a spot where there are no mountains, and then here's an airport. It's kind
Yeah,
of
exactly.
weird too. Like when you're flying in there, you're like flying in over mountains and stuff, and man, like you're just thinking of like all those wilderness movies. Like, am I gonna have to be Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I didn't know that the Denver area, it was so. What's a good way to put it? Barren.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you get outside of the city, it is like straight just blank, like there's nothing.
It's like
Um
straight.
yeah, I mean like well and there is stuff. Like that's not to say it's a barren wasteland, but it's kind of like just it's like open and then all of a sudden there's this gigantic city there.
Exactly. And it's weird because, Colorado's kind of hilly and stuff like that. So, uh, it's kind of cool because you can see Denver out in the distance when you're coming from like the airport and going to Denver. You can like see it, and you can like see like small little specks and clumps around the Denver area, or yeah, just around that area, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Oklahoma, but with like mountains.
Oh yeah, well that's pretty fair, man. That's pretty fair. Yeah, yeah, I was about to say you could say it's like Kansas with mountains too.
Yeah, it's true.
Uh,
Um, at least Kansas has like crops and stuff. Like Colorado is just like, hey, here's some field,
and some
like
rocks.
yeah, field and rocks. Like, just let's just keep it how it is.
Yeah, Colorado is pretty well known for like livestock and stuff like that. Um,
Mhm.
a lot of
Okay,
cattle out there and that kind of stuff. But
grazing land.
yeah, yeah, and this is just me like having grown or having lived in the Midwest for about 4 years now. I'm finally picking up on this stuff. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I flew into Denver International Airport. Goodness, I think it was earlier this year, and man, oh my gosh, let me tell you, like that was quite a day because I was in Austin, and
Mm.
the only way to get back because my flight was paid for. Long story,
Mhm.
I'm not like living the high life over here. It's just it was paid for. Um,
High road.
You're right. Yeah, no, I ain't no high roller at this point. This podcast hasn't taken off yet, but
He's already
but
got those.
hi, yeah, I already got the deals. But nah, I mean, so basically, like, had to take off from Austin, go to Houston, and then fly to Denver just to fly back to Wichita, which made no sense. I'm like, bro, like. it is a shorter trip to fly to Wichita. Like, why? It was, I don't know. It was the timing of everything, like when the flights were and all that stuff. And, me having to work overnight, I had to work that night. It was crazy, man. I was like, what is this, bro? It was ridiculous. But how was the business trip though?
It was good. I mean, like I said, Colorado is really pretty in general. I mean, just everything's pretty there. I mean, the land, the people, just everything. It's great. Um,
People too.
no, no, it was a really good experience. I'm very I'm very blessed and fortunate that my company, trusted me enough to send me out and work on one of our stores and get it up and running and stuff like that. So I'm very very blessed and happy that I had that opportunity to do that.
For sure.
Um, I I mean, I enjoyed myself. It was I'm not gonna lie, I worked a ton. I mean, it was my day started at 7:30 and it pretty much ended at like 5:30. So
Man.
it was a pretty full day. And that's like nonstop work. Like I'm doing stuff all the time. Like the only break I would get is for lunch or whatever.
Dang.
So I mean, it was it was a lot. It was a lot. But like I said, I'm very fortunate, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very stressful as well. But um, I mean, who can say that they had their company fly them out to wherever
Right.
and pay for pretty much everything that they did there, and and they got to experience that. Uh, I There are very few people who actually have that opportunity, so I'm super blessed and super happy that I had that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
especially at our age. I mean, at our age, that we don't really know too many people who get those opportunities, man. I mean, and so that in itself is cool because it's like, where will I go from here? Or what's gonna be next? I mean, that's pretty cool. You got the hotel and the travel and the food, all that, and you were the high roller.
yeah, high roller. Yeah.
Right, right. No, I mean that's fun though. No, I have to say I love Colorado as well. Um, and we went out there, my family and I, a couple years ago for like a ski trip. Man, there's nothing
Mhm,
better. There's nothing better. Like we tried to do it when I was a little kid.
mhm.
Oh man, it was not a pretty sight. Let me just tell you that because I was just
Fall
scared.
down the bottom.
What's that?
Were you not able to stay afloat on those slopes, man?
Yeah, pretty much. I was tripping, like literally tripping. Like,
Literally.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was kind of a thing where I was literally just like scared of going down. Like, I was scared of the idea of not having control of where I was going. And, and so like I would always try to be controlling myself, and it's like, well, you kind of just have to let loose at a certain point, and of course, like I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna say 8 years old, and
Mhm. You
man,
probably still a kid back then too. Your body hadn't grown into it, so
I know. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I was top heavy, man. I was top heavy.
I mean, that makes it extra cool.
I know, yeah, like I would lean forward and my head would be like, "Now you going all the way forward, you going face first." Oh my god, yeah. Hey, hey, big head gang, we already know. We already know what's up. Um, but yeah, no, that's so true. I can't even lie. Like I would love to tell you a story, but no, it had a lot to do with my head and the balance and all that stuff. um, so yeah, but anyway, no, it's a beautiful place out there, man. I have to say, and I can definitely relate to the business thing this week. Of course, like we say, we always record these about 10 days in advance of when they come out. So we just had the midterm election the other day, um,
Mm.
and that was a 12-hour shift for me. Um,
Oh gosh, yeah, I can understand how stressful that can be.
yeah, 12-hour shift overnight. But I gotta say, the one guy on Twitter, I think, like summed it up perfectly. Like, election day is the day that newsrooms around the country will overstaff their newsrooms, and no one will do anything. And then the rest of the days when there's big breaking news, they're understaffed. Like every other day of the year, understaffed. I was like, man, it's so true. Because I walked in, there was like a good portion of the time. Of course, all the food had been eaten. Because it's like a newsroom tradition across the country. Your news director goes, they get food, whatever. By the time I show up, it's only 8 o'clock. Results haven't even been confirmed yet. Food's already all gone. I'm like,
Yeah, you get the scraps.
yeah,
If that.
there was potato salad. That was what was left.
Ain't nobody want potato salad.
I'm like, come on, y'all got potato salad? Like, you know what that's gonna do to me? Yeah, come on, son. Yeah. So I was like, man. So anyway, I was like, this isn't gonna work for John Boy. So then I had to order my own food on top of that. But yeah, I wrote maybe 2 things, as far as scripts go, and for that night, of course, I still had to do my own entire show the following morning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that, it was really chill, and I can say from the almost 4 years I've been there, including the internship I did there, um,
Mm-hmm.
it was the smoothest election ever for sure. Because we've had, since I've worked there, we've had primaries. We've had the primaries for the 2016 election, the 2016 election, a special election last year because of our governor getting brought into the Trump administration. Then we had the primaries for this year, and then we had the midterm election this year. So that's 5. And yeah, this was the smoothest. There was like 0 issues. So that anybody who knows anything about behind the scenes on TV production, yeah, that is not a very common thing. I'll just put it to you that way. So it was good. It was good. I can't complain. And even though I wasn't doing a whole lot those first several hours, I still getting paid for it. you know, so can't even complain. But yeah, no. So it's good, man. It's good. I've had a pretty good week too, but it's been a busy week. So, you still doing more jet? You got more jet setting lifestyle coming up this weekend, right?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna go visit a friend in Austin, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Um, I'm already tired, so I know I'm gonna be super tired. Coming on Sunday, or no, not Sunday, Saturday.
Oh, I feel you.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it is what it is. You make plans, and you gotta have things going.
Oh yeah.
So
That's right.
I'll be living it up in Austin. We'll
Oh
see how that goes.
yeah. You never know because their slogans keep Austin weird, so
I don't know.
they make sure that is true pretty much year round.
I think so. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes I feel like, whenever I go there, I have to kind of like, I don't know, like clean myself, get that weird stuff off me. I was like,
Right?
a little too.
Just come out feeling dirty and stuff.
I know. I mean, you go to 6th Street. I mean, they do call it Dirty 6th Street. So, I mean, maybe I need to, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. I didn't know this until I was there that time. I was talking about that there is like a dirty 6th and then like a clean 6th Street. Like I had no idea there were 2 separate parts.
I didn't know that either until someone pointed it out to me. And then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, here's the part you don't want to go to, and the rest.
Well, if you want to get messed up, you go to this part.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you have a good time, go somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to get wrecked, feel free to go to Dirty 6th Street, man.
Have fun.
I spent about 45 minutes on Dirty 6th Street, and I say, you know what? I'm too old for this. I'm 24, man. I'm 24. I'm like, yep, I'm too old for this. And it was mainly that, and then I saw a dude with a boa constrictor around his neck, and I said, yeah.
That dude was weird.
Yeah. Oh, you seen that dude too?
Oh no, that dude's out there all the time. Yeah, no, I saw him when I went there.
Really?
That guy's kind of creepy. Um, yeah, and I pretty much spent about the same amount of time that you did. I was like, nah, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
I'm not about life.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not afraid of like the club scene or whatever have you, but like at the same time, there's like a certain level where I have to draw the line. And to me, Dirty Sixth Street is like 20 feet behind the line, man.
Oh man, yeah. No, Dirty Sixth Street is like beyond the line. Like it just, it's too much. It's a little
Right.
too much.
I don't know. I'm gonna just, man, I'm gonna just stay my ass home, watch some TV, watch some YouTube, just whatever. Go to the gym, make some gains. You seen those memes? Like it shows the weight room. It's like this is the only bar I need. Yeah, that just sets me off Friday night. Um,
Mhm.
so
Making straight gains.
man, always making gains, bro. But look, man, hey, so here's the thing, right? So
Yep.
Denson just flew in like from his trip number one to Denver International Airport. And so yeah, we're kind of doing this on the fly. And so we're winging things right now. We told y'all
Mm.
last week, well, we kind of started it last week that we were gonna uh kind of give a layout of what's coming up. We were gonna talk about. Yeah, we don't know what we're gonna talk about, so but
Yeah, I mean,
we have an idea. We have an idea.
yeah, we got ideas. You know, we're
Yeah.
optimistic.
Yeah, we got rough ideas. So this is the yeah, this is kind of winging it 101 right here. So we'll give it a shot, but we're gonna take a break. We'll come right back and we'll hit you with whatever that first topic may be. All right, man. So speaking of gains, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh man. So you can't make muscle gains in the gym. Gains, first of all, let me define what gains are, right?
Mm. Okay. I mean, preach to us,
Yeah,
sir. Preach to us.
I'm gonna be past the gains for a second. So first of all, gains are like
Okay,
what
house of gay.
yeah, past the gains from the house of gains. So gains are like when you go to the gym, you start lifting some weight, breaking down that muscle, and then you take all the
Mm.
creatine, all the protein, you know, all that good clean supplements. And then
Mhm.
you eat the right meals, enough protein, carbs, fats to fit your diet. And then 2 weeks later, you wake up and you're like, I made me some gains. So those are gains. I'm talking muscle gains. So, anyway, speaking of those, the thing is, the biggest part of this, like, people think it's mostly going to the gym. And it kind of like blows my mind the amount of people that think that. I used to think that too. It's all about going to the gym, not so much what you eat. But I was in high school, so uh,
Mhm.
um but yeah, no, it after that, yeah, I quickly figured out it's about 30% what you do in the gym and 70% what you eat. And the reason it's 70% what you eat is because there's so much out here. I mean, you and I, man, well, somehow, I don't know, we can eat whatever we want. We don't really like gain weight. Um,
Nah.
Man, I used to go over to Dennison's house. Man, even after I moved up here, I'd go over there and you just have fast food bags lying all around. I'm like, is this all you? Like, you're eating all this?
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do,
Yeah.
man. You know, I got those hard, long shifts. I gotta get some food.
See, and that's where I'm at too. And that's where I'm at too. So I will say I'm not the know all, tell all at this point in my life because, I'm having to make concessions, literally and figuratively, just because of when I work. But anyway, So yeah, you gotta watch what you eat. Now the thing is, it's tricky, but once you get into a groove, I mean, it's really easy to manage. You want something that has moderate calories, high protein, moderate fat, moderate carbs. That's the best way to build muscle. And it's hard to balance all of that. But once you get into a groove, I mean, it's not too hard. I can say that for sure. Um, but yeah, I would say there's too much temptation out here, wouldn't you?
I would say that. I mean, you got these fast food companies out here that are just trying to sell. They're just trying to sell their
Yeah,
trash, and they make it look pretty darn
they
tasty.
do.
And the prices for like the healthy stuff doesn't really help either
No.
because it's so much more expensive.
It is. It is. So yeah, you're either gonna pay a lot for something that's actually healthy, or like I will say, man, not to trash talk a certain brand, but Panera, they, oh man, like they are pretty good for like they sell their stuff at high price. They make it seem like it's
Mhm.
healthy for you. Uh and then you realize like, yeah, this actually is not that healthy for me. Now they got healthy options, don't get me wrong. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, a lot of these things too that you see, like you don't even realize, like you may say, okay, well, I can eat one of these and then like tonight, on the eve of this podcast, I went to I had a cheat meal. Ooh, man, hold up. I have a point with all of this, but I want to tell you about my cheat meal real quick. All right. So I
Okay.
went to Freddy's.
Let's hear about your unhealthy meal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So okay, so I went to Freddy's, right? And Freddy's has the best steak burgers in the world. I got me a double, because double the meat, double the protein. Then I got a large order of cheese curds. And some good clean Freddy's sauce to dip it all in. So I had a big OG meal, right? But
Mhm.
literally, I'm gonna eat again. I'm gonna eat again, but before I go to bed, of course. But it's probably just gonna be like tuna, you know. Um,
Mhm.
so let's say you're doing it like that. Well, what really gets you, and I can guarantee I'm guilty of this tonight, is the sodium. The sodium, man. I mean, like,
There is so much sodium.
yeah,
Especially in that first meal that you had, that Freddy's, man, that's like all sodium.
yes, it is, it is, and I get the tuna that's like low sodium, reduced sodium,
Mm.
so that's not really an issue there. But the first meal, like you said, crazy. Um, so yeah, but in like a lot of these things, like you see these crazy, like wild things that Burger King puts out, and like even if for some reason they are low in calories, man, they are not low in sodium, and that's not just Burger King. That's like Arby's. That's anything, but
It's everywhere.
yeah. Yeah, well, most fast food restaurants for sure. But like the sodium isn't even what I really want to talk about. So there's like a lot to watch out there. But anyways, this recent study that came out that gave a grade to all the fast food restaurants based off of the antibiotic use in their meat. Okay. Did you
Mhm.
see this?
I did not. I did not. I've heard about that one, but I did not actually get to read that one.
Okay. All right. So it's kind of crazy. A lot of people are concerned with like growth hormones and stuff like that being put into meat because obviously that's not good for us to eat another like cow's growth hormones. Yeah.
Uh, you don't want those cow steroids.
Yeah, you don't want no cow steroids, like for sure. but but yeah, like outside of that, like people from what I understand, growth hormone is being used less and less, like in most beef. Um, and so what people forget about is the antibiotics. Okay, and
Mhm.
obviously that's just as bad for you if you're having a cow's antibiotics show up in your meat. You know, there you're supposed to want to get antibiotic free meat. And I know I'm sounding like a hippie right now, but at least I'm eating meat. Okay. So, um, so the thing is, like, this study came out. There were only two, it graded like 25 of the top restaurants. Okay. There were only two
Mhm.
that got an A rating out of 25. Uh,
That's not good.
no, the next closest, and so those two were Shake Shack and BurgerFi, which BurgerFi, I gotta say, I took you and Sierra there when you guys were up here visiting me, and just like, what is it about this beef that tastes so good? Man, well, step one is the fact it's actually fresh beef, man. Oh,
Mhm.
I shout out to Burger,
Slaughter that cat right in the kitchen.
right? Shout out to BurgerFi, bro. I have to say, shout out to BurgerFi. But
That was a really good burger, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah, and then like them and the fries. I don't know. Anyway, um, and the next closest rating was a D plus, and that was for Wendy's. Okay,
Oh, no.
yeah,
If this was a class, everybody
yeah,
failed except 2
e-
people. Those darn curve
yeah.
breakers.
I know they could have graded them on the curve, but these people over here actually
Mhm.
studied and did their homework. Now,
I
now
know.
they're over here making everybody look bad. So, uh, outside of that, everybody else got an F, and by F, I'm talking about Whataburger, In-N-Out Burger. Like In-N-Out always
Oh,
claims to be like this fresh, meat and all this stuff, and then yeah,
we got that fresh California hippie meat, bro.
yeah, right? So you thought, bro, like, oh, man, it's just yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy to me, and so, like, really, um, obviously, health from food extends to way more than just whether you're making gains or not, um, because you can make gains in a variety of ways, specifically just being healthy, um
Mhm. Very, very
yeah, and
true.
so I'm not against fast food. I'm not someone that's says, if you're trying to be healthy, you should never have fast food. You have to do it in moderation and you shouldn't go all out, pig out every time you go there. You can still eat like a relatively normal size meal from fast food. But my thing is this, like, do we really know what we're putting in our bodies most of the time? And I don't think that we do.
That's very true. I mean, I would say no. Um, and at the same time, you also have to remember that, you know, like you were saying, sometimes this isn't just like, making gains perspective, but sometimes it's also the fact of like some of these hormones and some of these like antibiotics that get put into these different gosh darn these different types of animals that we eat.
Yeah.
Um, some of them can affect us like mentally. Some of it can affect like hormones in our bodies. Like there's a whole multitude and factor of different things that these chemicals can do to us because they're not really meant for us in the first place. um so yeah, I mean, being healthy really does. Uh, I feel like nowadays it's becoming a little bit harder to do because there's so much that you have to look out for.
There really is. And there's just more, I feel like there's more options out there, which creates more things to have to watch, watch for. Um, and we're also becoming more like conscientious of like what it is that we are eating. Um, and so I
Very-
think, what's that?
I was just saying, very, very true.
Yeah. And so, I think like just from that, um, because we are becoming more conscientious, then it's becoming more and more of a shock factor of like, oh, we're eating this, we're eating that. And part of it's supply and demand. I mean, when McDonald's started out, maybe they didn't have such nasty products in their beef and stuff like that. Um, but overall, like, they grew at an exponential rate, and somehow they had to meet supply and demand.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really partly on the consumer intake. Part of this, we could go into a whole other discussion about how well, we've talked about this before about how we're worked harder than ever or worked more than ever, I should say. And so, we're home less and we have less time to do other things. Um, and so, it creates this life where we are having to force ourselves to go eat fast food because that's the only way we're going to get any food in us.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I, I'm into health and fitness and all that kind of stuff. And again, I'm not the gold standard by any stretch, but but it does bother me when I think about the fact that we're eating like chemicals. I feel like no matter whatever corners you as a business have to cut to supply that food, it shouldn't involve chemicals. You know what I mean?
Uh, yes, I understand that. I mean, for me, it's like a yes and no thing. Like, I should say, don't feed us certain chemicals and things that you wouldn't want to eat yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. I think we're not; these companies aren't holding themselves accountable. It's like, why would you sell something to the masses that you're not going to eat yourself? Now, when you were saying chemicals, I should say that we should specify a little bit more because technically, if you really want to get technical on the whole thing, everything's chemicals. Like, I mean, everything's
Bro.
chemicals.
Yeah. Okay. Like
But
blood and all right, Mr.
well,
Specific.
I mean, I mean, I'm just saying that, like, everything that we have is chemicals. That's why it's like when you look at the back of like I don't know whatever water, you could be like, oh man, there's chemicals in water. I mean, yeah,
No,
because
no.
water is chemical stuff.
What has
But
H2O in it? Oh my god, I'm never drinking this
I
again, bro.
can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, it's so messed up.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, I'm like deciding never to drink water again. I'm a I'm gonna just drink Diet Dr Pepper instead, bro.
Yeah.
Because as
It's
far as
got different chemicals, man.
I no, it doesn't have H2O in there though, so I
Oh
should be
man,
safe.
yeah. Yeah, you're safe.
But anyway, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying that, we should try and make sure that we should try to make these companies more accountable and make sure that they understand like if you wouldn't eat this yourself, then don't make other people eat it.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I'm sure like the heads of some of these corporations, like fast food corporations, they're probably like, nah, bro, why would I even eat my own food? I know what goes in there. That's nasty. Like, why
right,
would you do that? Like, I don't I don't care how much you feel that you have to cut cost to make a product, sellable to people. I'd rather you, you know, I'd rather me having to pay more so that I get at least quality food, um, and know that you're not cutting corners just because you need to get stuff out to the masses, and the more people you feed the more money you get. I would
right,
love if a company would just stop being greedy and actually feed people the correct things. I would pay more for that. I would be fine with that. I mean, there are certain services and certain things that I understand that I was like, I'd rather just pay more for and get a superior product.
yeah, heck yeah,
Especially if especially if it has like health benefits for me. So I would rather that than, you just put random crap together and be like, hey, here's a hot dog. Like, what? I mean, like, I don't know. They just like Sonic. Sometimes they have like random stuff come out. I'm like, bro, I don't even know what's in that. Like,
oh
you
no,
say it's this, but I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it might be something else in there. Like,
right, like,
but like,
what is a
don't do
coney?
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, what is a coney? Like, let's be honest here,
exactly.
No, I know, yeah, I'll tell you what, my request is simple, like, I just want a meal that looks like what they have on the commercials, you know? Like I just want what you had on your advertisement. I want my food to look like that, you know? That's my simple request.
Mhm.
'Cause I
Yeah, I
guarantee
mean, I don't
you
wanna open up a bag and get a bag of disappointment where I'm like, "Oh, this isn't what I ordered."
right? Okay, alright, let me ask you this, though. What
Huh.
is can you think of something off the top of your head that was, like, the worst fast food experience you've ever had? Because I can.
Oh, I can think of a lot of fast food places, but it's probably gonna be my Burger King, uh, problems.
Oh,
So
okay, alright, go
I
ahead.
think I'm sure I've told you this, but there was one point where we went to a Burger King or whatever like that, and we found a cricket leg in one of our
Oh,
burgers, which was
no.
nasty. It was
No.
messed up. And you get to a point where you're like, oh man, that's nasty, gross, whatever. I'm not gonna go there for a little bit, right? You're like,
Yeah.
whatever. It happens. It shouldn't happen, but stuff happens, right? So we were just like, all right, well, maybe that was just a one time thing. Maybe we got the weird random fool who just doesn't know how to create, burgers or whatever like that.
Right.
So funny thing is, we went there again, right? And uh, this time we found a cricket leg in our drink. Oh man! So
What?
it migrated from the burger to the drink. I don't know.
They just got crickets hanging around Burger King.
Yeah, I
They had, like,
mean,
a pet
so
lizard
this
in
is
the back
pretty
room or
much.
something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is why I've kind of just I don't go to Burger King anymore. Like I just
I
don't
don't
go to
blame you.
Burger King. I mean, that happens a couple times. I'm not feeling it. Like, nah,
Right.
nah, son, I don't go back there. Like,
No.
so that was a bad experience for me. And at the same time, I don't really feel like their food's that good. I mean, it's kind of mediocre at best.
It
I
is, man.
mean, it's kind of like going to Arby's. Like I don't go to Arby's or Jack in the Box because I don't know. It or even like Taco Bell that much.
Oh, I
I, Taco
know.
Bell I
Ooh.
can I, Taco Bell I can tolerate, but it's like all of those are like bags of disappointment. Like the moment that I get that food, I'm like, oh man, this is already bad. Like I just
Oh, let
touch
me
it and I'm
tell
like,
you, man.
this is bad.
Oh, you know what got me with Taco Bell? They brought back those man, this is gonna make everybody hungry talking about all this, but they had those nacho fries, and I tried them when they came out last year, man, those things were nice, but then they
Those
brought 'em
things
back
were good.
yeah, but then they brought 'em back, right? I'm like,
Hmm.
"Ah, why aren't y'all making them like what you have on the advertisement, man?" Like, it just tastes like some bland potato now, like, what the hell? Man, talk yeah, like you said, bag of disappointment. But no, I used to eat at all those places too. I'm kind of like, nah. But what really got me, and man, so I still get chicken from Wendy's, but I just cannot. I still can't order a burger from Wendy's after this. Um, I was on lunch break back when I used to get those at work. Um,
Hmm.
I went to Wendy's, right? I got you gotta get a Baconator at Wendy's, right? If you're gonna get a burger. So,
Oh
got bacon
man.
you have to, right? So,
Hmm.
uh, got a Baconator. So I'm, like, chewing on that, it's everything's good, nice sunshiny day, and then all of a sudden, I taste something, like, kinda, like, crunchy that shouldn't be crunchy, and then I
Really?
realize it's, like, stuck on my tongue. I'm like, What what is this?" Bruh, a whole wrapper for a slice of cheese. Like, they left the plastic wrapper on the slice of cheese. On the cheese.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hadn't eaten anything all day, man. Man,
No.
I'm ashamed of this moment. This was a dark moment in the history. But I took the rest of that plastic off that cheese, and
And you you finished it?
I finished that burger, man. Nothing's gonna keep me from some protein.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And
You need that burger.
I know, I was like, "Nothing else is some extra fiber," like, "I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna finish it like a man. I am not going back there." I have time to go back to Wendy's and be like, "Yo, you guys left some plastic on my burger." Like, Would they even believe me? They'd be like, "No, you just got a slice of Kraft singles at your house." Like, you took it off and brought that to us. I couldn't even believe it. Like, I was like, "How
Oh
is
my
this not
gosh.
melted?" Like, I had way too many questions. I still ate it though. Um, so yeah. Yeah, man. Uh,
Savage
I
John.
know. Sometimes sometimes it has to come out, but oh man. So anyway, yeah, we just got that so many stories like that. I know there was that one story like what was that? New York City, where there was a Popeyes and someone had like a rat head, a fried rat head. She,
Oh yeah, man.
yeah.
That rat hopped up in the fryer, man.
Yeah, and of course in New York, right? 'Cause they have a
Of
larger
course.
population of rats than they do people. But
Mhm.
but yeah, fried rat head, and they just threw it in with the rest of the chicken, man.
They won't notice.
I know. I don't think I've ever been back to Popeyes after that. I was like, ooh, but um, but yeah. So anyway, we just gotta be careful about what we eat. But anyway, I feel like winging it's going pretty well so far. You know,
I think so. I
yeah,
think so.
it's going well. But we're on a tight deadline today, so let's take another break. We'll come back and hit you with one more topic, and then we'll bounce out of here.
All right. So, kind of going off of health food, I mean, it's kind of interesting. So, there are big advancements in AI that have been happening recently, and really just in the past couple of years. It's kind of been moving really, really quickly. I mean, we've talked about this previously, but I just find it kind of interesting, just the overall topic of AI and how how just how much we actually use it right now, and then just how much it's advanced from even like a decade ago. It's insane just how quickly all of it's
Oh, it
changing.
is for sure.
I mean, right now we technically have IBM's Watson helping some doctors do like trials on, or it's helping them better diagnose patients. Like, I mean, to a really, really high degree, which is really
Like,
insane. So
actually
they're
find
able
out, like,
to.
what's wrong with them type of thing?
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it, it's insane how well it's been done, because I mean, though some hospitals have a connection to IBM's Watson database or whatever like that, or AI, and the doctor will present the symptoms and stuff like that. And then Watson will also take some of the vital signs and kind of go and do like an algorithm or whatever like that, and it's able to kind of better diagnose the patient, um,
Man, that's so crazy.
than doctors were able to do before, which is insane.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Man.
Mm. And oh, for those who don't know, Watson is IBM's artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It's really well. I mean, you might have seen him on like he's been on Jeopardy, or Watson's been on Jeopardy and a couple other things.
Oh, I
But
forgot about that.
yeah,
Did it, like, win Jeopardy? Like, I forget how that worked.
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, yes,
Yeah.
yes, it did win Jeopardy.
Yeah, and, it's kinda like IBM's version of, like, Siri or Cortana for Windows or Alexa, whatever, but it's, like, way exponentially smarter, you know?
Oh yeah, it's way, way more advanced. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that we have an AI out there that's able to do stuff like that. Um, and it's actually interesting because there are if you really think about it, there are like certain things that like certain games and stuff like that, that technically an AI is better than us, like chess. Like
Yes.
there is no one going to be better than the AI that defeated like the world champions of chess.
Yeah.
Like probably no one is going to be like a world champion of chess anymore, other than that AI, because they're just way too. I mean, it's just thinking far ahead of the game, which is insane.
Yeah. Did they actually give the title to that AI, or was it just kinda like a for fun exhibition kinda thing? 'Cause, it did beat, like, what do they call it, the grandmaster in chess or whatever. Um, yeah, it did, Robot did beat this dude, um, but I mean, they didn't actually, like, give the robot a title, did they? Or I don't know.
I don't believe so,
Yeah.
but I mean, at the same time, it's still one of those things that's really interesting because I mean, that grandmaster wasn't just like pulling his punches. He wasn't just like, oh well, ha ha ha, I'm just gonna pull my punches and I'm not gonna do that. Well, no, no, I mean he was actually I mean he was actually trying to win against the computer, and the computer just outdid him, which is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it is
Um,
insane. Yeah, I mean, no, I mean this grandmaster, like imagine being this guy and you've won like competitions your whole life. And or at least the majority of your life. And now you like are sitting there and this robot's beating you and you like lose for the first time in God knows how long. That would be such a
yeah.
weird feeling.
It would be a really strange feeling because especially since there's not like a person in front of you. It's like just a robot, a machine, just doing stuff, and you're just like, "Well, what just
Yeah.
happened?"
Right? Well, I was thinking about
Um,
that too. Like, I was actually thinking about this earlier, like because they already have the ability to do hologram projections of like Michael Jackson, right? Like they had that one year at the
yeah.
I think the Grammys, and it was like really weird. um,
Mhm.
but at what point do they start like actually doing that with like current day stars? Um,
Mhm.
through AI and stuff like that. And these people are just at home counting the dollar bills, you know?
Yeah, I think we're getting closer and closer to it because I mean there are AI programs out there that are designed to be able to. I think we've talked about this once before that it's able to mimic people's behaviors. Um, it's able to mimic speech patterns, all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if we gave it enough data points for it to be able to mimic or recreate a whole person just by you know understanding um, some of the things that it has or some of the data points that it has and recreating that person and their personality, which is
Sure.
insane to
Do
think
you think
about.
it'd really come to that though? Like, do you think it would really
uh,
be a world we would live in like that?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like we would end up using a lot of our advancements in AI in far different aspects.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, right now, I think like one of the bigger things is using it for military use. It's not in some ways, it's like one of those where it's like, oh man, why should the military be, trying to use
Oh,
AI?
right.
Well, I mean, it helps them out a lot because one, if they can make like AI robots that can detect enemies and use a very high percentage judgment call on like, hey, is this person going to shoot me or is they not? If they are, blah blah blah, and kind of being able to prevent certain things on the battlefield. So one that takes real people's lives out of the equation because you're having a robot go out there and do all this stuff and you're not risking human lives, which is a big advancement there. And also you can use those AI programs to determine certain actions or things before they can happen, which can also give you an edge or just a better tactical mind when it comes to military, attacks or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Let me
um,
tell you, oh man, that's something. With the military that it's kind of course, I'm not gonna say that they have that ability right now, but, you can go back decades. You can go back to, like, when we first found out that the F-117 Nighthawk was a thing. It was like a stealth bomber, you know? The only reason
mm,
that it was found out that existed was, Desert Storm and CNN was over there. Wolf Blitzer was over in, Iraq and that area, and they
Mhm.
literally got these planes flying over on camera, and no
Yeah.
one knew what they were at the time. So obviously that was slightly before our time, but those planes had been around for almost 10 years by that point. Um, and
Mhm.
again,
They're kinda old mutants in some
yeah,
ways.
yeah, and so, like, the military had no plans on divulging that they had this capability, but it was just the media coverage and getting it on camera that made them divulge it. So, there's that, and then, like, um, they say that they're just now testing scramjets, which are these super, high speed jets that fly on the outer edge of the atmosphere, like, almost in space. You basically are in space. You have to wear kind of a spacesuit, and they can go,
Mhm.
like
Kinda like how the Black Hawk did.
yeah, 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 but, well, not the Black Hawk, but, the Blackbird, SR-71
Yeah, Black
Blackbird.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 and so, yeah, but this, like, flies higher and goes way faster and all this stuff, but to me, if they're already saying that they're testing it, I tend to believe that it's already a thing. And then the last thing is I remember a couple years ago they said that they were developing GI Joe like suits that would give uh people on the front lines the ability to run and jump and all this stuff at superhuman speeds, and of course it was
Mm,
bulletproof on top of that. Um
yeah.
that I mean
Well, I mean, the military has always been kind of that entity like that. And at the same time, like you were talking about, like those GI Joe kind of suits or whatever like that. They've actually been working on those for quite a long time, like long time
really.
for. Yeah, like I think they started like thinking about some of those types of projects in like the 80s or 90s.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, they just had different prototypes and different suits and stuff like that. I mean, there are a lot of interesting projects that our military has kind of worked on throughout the years. I mean, there was one point there where they tried to build a flying saucer, so
Yeah. Yeah.
or with hover capabilities and stuff like that. Um, so it's really interesting. So yeah, I mean, going back to AI, that really could be something that they already have. But at the same time, I don't know because I feel like a lot of the private companies may have a little bit of a farther foothold in that than say like the military does.
Sure.
Um, because I mean, we already have who is it? Elon Musk's
Right.
AI that he created, or that a company that he owns or whatever created. They developed an AI that was able to play, I think, what was it, League of Legends or whatever like that, and it actually beat some of the like best League of Legends players, which is really interesting. Um, now, of course, this was kind of like an exhibition match, and if I'm not mistaken, it was when he it was a one-on-one deal when it was going against, that person, and then. The AI was going against one person instead of like a whole group.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but at the same time, though, it like they pretty much they created the AI just to learn. So they gave the parameters of how the game worked. The AI played it a couple of times, and then it went against those people, and then it just defeated them,
That's
which is
crazy.
insane. Quickly, it learned. Yeah. And like there are also advancements in like right now we actually have a lot of AI programs building AI programs, which is really interesting.
Yeah, well,
It sounds kind of
no, yeah,
weird.
sure. The Elon Musk thing, I mean, that's a guy that literally has spoken out against artificial intelligence, multiple times, yet he still developed
Oh
something
yeah.
that, in this capacity, in this realm, was able to outsmart every human?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think in some ways that kind of shows he understands that, AI, if, if we get to a point, there could be a point where AI could be a problem. But I
Sure.
think he also understands that there's big advancements that need to be done in AI that will benefit us.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, what was it? A couple of years back, Google said that they had created like an off switch for one of their, for AI programs and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
And so, that kind of makes me wonder because usually when stuff like that happens, or usually there gets to a point to where um, they created something that they didn't have an off switch for, and it got kind of scary, so they had to create one.
Yeah, right?
So who knows how far? Yeah. So I was saying, like, who knows how far they actually got to? I mean, they already had one of their AIs, which we talked about previously, that created its own language because it said that. Or they were saying that it felt English was too inefficient or whatever like that. So it created its own language and then
Really?
started talking to other AI. Yeah. So it created its own language, started talking to other AI. They weren't able to understand what it was saying, so they shut it off because they're like,
Oh,
this sounds kind of bad. So
yeah.
they shut it.
That's like
And
horror
so that's
movie
kind of
stuff, man.
creepy and kind of
Yeah.
cool, but it's yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
um,
yeah, I'm freaked out. I didn't even know that this Google had really been working on that capacity. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that for sure. But um, yeah, man, I don't know. It's interesting times that we live in, um, and that we
mhm,
are dealing with and learning about as it goes along. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where this all goes. Obviously, it has our attention because we've talked about it, several weeks in a row now. Um, but or off and on anyway. But so anyway, no, I feel like the answer we will see sooner rather than later because this stuff just keeps picking up as time goes on. Um,
mhm.
so it'll be interesting. I don't think we'll have to wait too long. But hey, man, for now, I think we need to bounce out of here. So yeah, I think that flying by the seat of our pants, just kind of winging it. I think it went really well, and had a good time as always. Hopefully, you guys had a good time listening to us as well. But we're gonna have to bounce out of here. I gotta jump into work, and Dennis needs to probably get some shut eye or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, sleep.
Yeah, I was about to say. So, all right, man. Well, anyway, thanks for listening. Of course, like, rate, and subscribe as always, and share if you would like. We just want to bring as many people into the community as we can, and the Facebook page is coming. The Facebook page is definitely coming.
It's it is
Y-
coming. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
It's
it
coming.
will be here. Hopefully, by the time you're hearing this, it is here. So, anyway, we will
Mhm.
let y'all know about that soon. But anyway, thanks for listening, and this has been the catch up.